questions for a class? Could I maybe ask you a few things for a class? Okay. Excuse me? Could I maybe ask you a few questions for a class?
Sure.
Excuse me, miss. May I ask you a few questions for a class?
Sure. We'll say enthusiastic teacher. He really enjoyed jumping and talking to the students in creative voices. Like, he pulled out an Indian accent at one time that I thought was amazing. Yeah, he really was able to kind of break the fourth wall with his students. He was able to get to know them on kind of a deeper personal level. Like, you know, you always felt like that he was caring about each and every one of his students each time that he explained or talked about things. He also gave very, very creative assignments. But yeah, he was able to just kind of grab everybody's attention and be able to just make us feel like that we were comfortable, you know, with learning and being able to ask questions, and he set up a very good environment for us to learn.
I don't know, it's really three teachers all at once. Once it was in marching band, it was Mr. Barton, Mr. Klingler, and Mr. North. Really, they just helped me get through high school. A lot of the time, their example, how strong they were kind of a support that people could lean on. They were there to talk and kind of smack you around and get you back on track when you needed it. But they were also very different about it. Mr. Barton was very stern, very strict, but knew how to joke around when it needed to be, so he could relieve the tension. Mr. Klingler was just kind of a joker, and it was easy to talk to him, but at the same time, you risked being made fun of at everything you said. And then there's Mr. North, who was very serious, but get him in a large group of people, and he'll crack some slightly unfunny jokes.
I would have to say my art teacher, mainly, because she was also the yearbook teacher, editor, and she enjoyed it. She was working it. She just taught me a lot about design and how to focus things and make sure your focus stays on the page, and just different elements that just changed my life, because I didn't know very much, and I was just a little beginning artist, and just taking that art class and the yearbook class it just helped me a lot.
I have to be Mr. Johnson. I swear, he was the only teacher I ever came home excited to do his homework. I mean, I got a C in his class, but he always made me look at the world differently. He, instead of like teaching us grammar and all about English, he taught me to use English to express myself properly, and I really appreciate that. He's affected what I chose to do.
I had a class in high school that was teaching Shakespeare, and it was a very, very fun class. It was something that I wanted to take for me, just because it was really, really enjoyable, and it's something that I enjoyed.
Well, marching band was my favorite, but my favorite experience actually happened in a chemistry class. So it was in Mr. Muller's class. I'd been gone the day before on a band trip for a festival, and that day I was gone, we'd been learning how to balance chemical equations. So he didn't think I knew anything about it. And when I walked in, he just said, okay, you were gone yesterday, we were learning chemical equations, how to balance them, all that kind of stuff. Just sit down, watch, and see if you can get a grip on it. He wrote down the equation, my hand was the first one in the air, and I balanced it perfectly within seconds. He looked at the equation as I was balancing it, looked back at me, looked back at the equation, then looked right back at me, and it's just, does that come naturally to you? My reaction was kind of, I don't know, I just saw it and balanced it.
I would have to say either my choir class or my orchestra class. Just a lot of people that you got to know, and if you messed up, you all messed up together. It's just one of those things, you work as a whole, and it's just, if one messes up, you all mess up, and it's like, hey, you made a mistake.
You really could. Orchestra. I loved the feeling of the instrument in my hands, and it just going like this, it made me feel like I was dancing.